You know, trans kids, this is it right here. That's the coach. Trans kids belong. They had a conversation together. They walked up to each other. They had the talk. And by the way, just so you know, we did not know this. I Googled to see which side Cheryl Reeve is on. She's actually lesbian. Nothing wrong with that. But they're having a conversation here to the left. That's Sophie and her talking. Then the post-game interview, she's being interviewed, the coach, and the question is asked. And here's what the coach had to say of the opposing team. If you can go to what the coach had to say of the opposing team in the post-game interview.
Put down everything you are doing and pay close attention. The whole women's basketball community just broke overnight. We are witnessing the most explosive, scary legal situation and devastating stalemate in the league's secret history. Caitlin Clark eventually struck her instead of flashing cameras. Total breaking point. Rumors concerning the tension, the dirty maneuvers, and the outright disdain directed toward the Indiana Fever. However, virtually no one anticipated what had just transpired in that locker room. This is a full-fledged legal conflict. The internet was recently destroyed by leaked reports. At last, Caitlin Clark has broken her quiet, following a large-scale demonstration by coaches using trans children's belong shirts. The institution supposedly turned. Sophie Cunningham was the target of its full fury. However, they committed one deadly error. They underestimated everything. The devotion of Caitlin Clark. We are dismantling the lawsuit and rocking the nation. So don't miss a second of this. These are the exact comments that Clark yelled at the employees, along with the ultimatum that apparently caused the Wnba commissioner to flee. Click the like button and subscribe now. Let's reveal the complete collapse of the Wnba system. Observe how this legal nightmare began. You must have a peek at Seattle. There was already a very poisonous atmosphere. Coaches for the Seattle Storm and other teams were promoting those transgender children's belong shirts. They transformed the court into a vast arena of political conflict. However, this was never merely a shirt issue. Power, control, and making players comply were the main themes.
Some things that, you know, we have in common and maybe some things you differ on, just like any issues. And I think it's how you handle things. And so...
You can pause it right there. I want you to now watch what Caitlin Clark's
nice
coach had to say when she was questioned. This is Caitlin Clark's coach. Okay, go for it.
Your stance on men or athletes who test as biological male participating in women's sports. What's your personal
Watch her answer.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know that I would say that I'm educated enough from a scientific standpoint. I don't ever believe that exclusion is an answer. I just don't.
Oh my!
No, but wait a minute. You got to keep playing it. Is this the only clip we have? Oh, okay.
I think that's it.
Because she says, I used to play with men when I was a kid. I always played with men when I was a kid. And she answers the question like, you know, I'm not a scientist. I'm not this. I'm not that. And then the game's being played yesterday. Sophie Cunningham gets hit in the face by an elbow that pretty much almost like massive foul. They called the foul on
It's a defensive
on
foul.
her. I don't even know if we can even play this clip
it.
or not. If you know, you can.
According to startling insiders, Sophie Cunningham resisted efforts from rival. Thus, she quickly rose to the top of the public enemy list. Sophie was supposedly betrayed by the coaches. They started a concerted effort to completely destroy her reputation and isolate her. We are discussing persistent verbal harassment from the sidelines. Utterly prejudiced, with rival coaches and officials yelling hateful things at Sophie whenever she touched the ball. Their goal was to demoralize her. They intended to use her as an example in front of the entire nation. Executives from the league watched the Indiana Fever enforcer in complete silence become ripped apart by the establishment. They assumed Sophie was on her own. They believed she was a simple target. However, they overlooked the fact that Sophie is the world's biggest star's best guardian. Additionally, if you tamper with the protection, the celebrity will retaliate in unexpected ways. At last, the boiling point was reached. It will go down as the most startling a locker room incident in the history of professional sports, following a vicious game of deliberate harassment directed at Sophie from the Indiana Fever withdrew to their dressing room from the opposite bench. It was oppressively tense. The extreme disrespect was said to have visibly rattled Sophie, who typically takes every setback with a smile. From the Wnba coaches, Caitlin Clark remained silent for months. She disregarded the petty jealousy and accepted the cheap shots, and simply engaged in the game. The last straw, though, was witnessing her fiercely devoted comrade pushed to the brink. Witnesses said that as Caitlin Clark got up, the room fell silent. She erupted rather than merely spoke. According to reports, Clark stared down Management League officials as he marched straight into the middle of the room. She was trembling with unadulterated rage.
All the problems that we have in our society, we have to still play this trans kids belong. And listen, I pray for those people. I pray for those people that are confused. My heart goes out to them. I literally pray all the time. Like, let them figure it out. Talk to somebody that's going to do it instead of them patting you on the back and saying, you know what? Take your breast off or chop your penis off. And the majority of those people have freaking depression and they wind up killing themselves. Or if not, they wind up shooting up places and they call us transphobic. Give me a freaking break. Shut down the WNBA. Where's the money coming from? Name me a company that loses $40 million a year and people still put up with this. And mind you, Caitlin Collins is your superstar.
Caitlin Clark,
Caitlin Collins, whatever. Potato. That's how much, Adam.
Well, technically, if you can't do potato in the NBA, then
exactly.
it's
But Adam, think about
this. She got you new TV and sponsorship deals, and that money is being used to pay the players, and now you don't need her.
And great point, Tom. Are you ready for this, Adam? They hate her because she's white. She's the nastiest player in the league, and everybody, the coaches, the refs, the players, all hate on her because she's a white star, and she had to bend the knee too. I'm done with the WNBA, bro. I'm tired of it. Is that bad? I'm furious. No, am I wrong?
So where are you at with this?
I'm just, Vinny, I mean this sincerely. Thank you for coming over.
Finally, you got me.
Thank you. Just say out of
FYI, just so you know, that's not happening. The first team in WNBA just got $1 billion valuation. Yeah. Their revenue's up to $500 million. They're not profitable yet, so it's not like they're making money now. But Vinny, there is no way this thing's going away because the simple fact.
What she did next was unbelievable. With shattering force, Clark snatched a clipboard and slammed it against the lockers. She was yelling as loudly as she could. She was taking out the entire coaching staff in addition to defending Sophie. Destruction of the establishment. According to insiders, Clark cried out that they let them to assault her. They fully allowed those coaches to. Crossed the line and took no action at all. For this franchise, she endures every setback. I'm not watching when I sit here. She is destroyed by this league. The officials in the room were completely stunned and motionless. Clark wasn't finished, though. She addressed the CEOs directly and said something that shocked everyone. Nation, Clark didn't simply scream and turn to leave. She became really irrational after that explosion. Within a day. Meltdown. When word spread that Caitlin Clark's powerful attorneys officially intervened.
They were upset with me, man. They were upset. I was surprised. Some people like the take. Other people were upset with the take. You know, and listen, Kelsey was hot. I'm not saying that. But it's frustrating to never get the ball when you're open in half court. And I mean never. Venom Reacts noticed it. Man, we got to get you over to the Caitlin Clark zone, Venom. Venom noticed it. He saw it. He always sees it.
Like, look at this, man. They got raped.
Yeah, Venom always does solid breakdowns. Awful coaching-esque breakdowns of these Indiana Fever games, really exposing some things that we all talk about and exposing things that maybe a lot of us haven't seen. So shout out to Venom as well.
Raven Johnson bringing it up. CC's relegated.
As soon as Raven Johnson was in the game, you knew that it was over.
To the left wing. This is sad. Stephanie White, like, this is sad, man. Caitlin Clark, like, even look at the way Caitlin Clark walked away from Aaliyah when Aaliyah tried to talk to her. Like, look right here. Look at Aaliyah Boston and Caitlin right here. Aaliyah tries to talk to her, and Caitlin turns to her left side like, girl, stop talking to me right now. Get ass, stop talking to me. I don't want to hear shit you guys say right now. I'm just being honest. Stop talking to me. Like, I like this, though. I like this. Because all the stuff that I'm saying now is starting to come to the light.
Cece, stop trying to be friends with everybody. Let them know. Let them know we ain't doing this hub BS. You're the hub. You're the engine. You're not wheels. You're not an exhaust. You're not a hubcap. You're not headers. You're not cams. You're none of that. You are the engine. You are the actual engine itself. The V12 of the Indiana Fever, not the hub. Let them know, hey, we're cool, but we ain't that cool. I'm gonna need that rock.
According to reports, Caitlin Clark is threatening to sue the league's rival coaches for specifically harassment. Sophie Cunningham was subjected to severe mental anguish and hostile workplace violations. This is absolutely unheard of, a rookie superstar initiating a significant legal action against the league in which she competes. According to reports, her attorneys have delivered a threatening cease and desist notice to the Seattle, the commissioner, and the coaches. The most terrifying part of that legal threat is the warning that goes with it. Something you'll never hear. Clark had a very straightforward message for the whole league. Never again will you mistreat Sophie. Avoid touching her, don't talk to her. Additionally, never attempt to degrade her on my court. I'll drag this entire league if you do through the dirt and dismantle this establishment one piece at a time.
Has a hill they're willing to die on. We've talked about this. We all have our hills. The WNBA has basically said, this is the hill we're willing to die on, because the L, the G, the B has been grouped in with that T, and they need to basically protect that T. And in the NBA, because I'm the local NBA guru over here, we know, they say, you live by you say you live by the 3 and you die by the 3, right? So the women of the NBA are going to die on this hill if it's the last thing they do. And they're not double dribbling. They're doubling down on this nonsense. And at this point, I'm not angry. I'm not upset. I'm sitting there eating my popcorn, just being like, you have this generational talent, Caitlin Clark, and you're running her out of the league. And you have this beautiful person, Sophie Cunningham, who's basically saying, listen, I'm just a normal person. I'm not political. I just don't want dudes in the locker room with me. And they elbow her in the face and they go, that's a foul on you. Yeah, shut your mouth.
Oh, God.
So I don't believe they're doubling down, Adam. But here's why. You're right, but I disagree on this angle. There's never been DEI that's been a special program brought into the WNBA. Never has. It was the culture from day one. Their culture was this. Well, this was the culture.
I don't mean this disrespectful. They're all lesbians. A lot of them are lesbians.
The point is, DEI was brought into certain companies and they faked it and they put up programs. We have a DEI program. Mm-hmm. They had DEI DNA. This was it since the beginning. And what you are seeing is a culture clash with
The WNBA is totally immobilized at the moment. Serious consequences await the Seattle coaches who allegedly targeted Sophie. Legal issues, as well as the fury of millions of followers of Caitlin Clark, the commissioner is in a panic. They are making a valiant effort to calm this legal storm before it totally destroys women's basketball's future.